Welcome in. It is the 2022 Philly Voice NFL Draft Special. We have a bunch of guests here for you as we are live in this gigantic building in Camden for you here, the Triad building, where we have, right? Seamus is here. Am I mislabeling the name of that?
No, I believe it's the Triad Center 1828.
There you go. Yeah. Thank you. I knew Triad had to do with it, but I didn't want to just leave it at that because maybe people get the wrong idea.
Maybe it's a little too classy of a place for the two of us, but yes. A great scene nonetheless.
How the hell did we get here? Look, we're waiting on Ron Jaworski right now. Evan Macy's going to be here as well. So the Philly Voice crew, I spoke with Jimmy Kempski a little bit earlier. He had to bail because the draft is already underway. As you're here hanging with us on the Philly Voice YouTube page, we ask that you hit that thumbs up button, please, and make sure you're subscribed. And yes, it's going to be Jaws coming with the two of us here. And the draft is already underway, technically, right? So we have a little bit before the Eagles pick and probably maybe Seamus, a trade if the Eagles get a little antsy.
Yeah, the couple of reports we saw today from James Palmer, who works for NFL Network, a Philly guy.
That's right.
Had a report out that the Eagles were looking to move up into the top 10 of the draft, specifically, according to him, for Oregon pass rusher Kayvon Thibodeau, who came into the draft, especially last college season, looking like a guy who could be the top pick in the draft. And it's one of those weird things where he's fallen because of quote-unquote character concerns. And a lot of times guys like us, we don't know what that entails. But to me, sometimes it's weird. Unless a guy's a complete a-hole, we don't really know what his personality's like.
Right.
If you were the best guy in college football at the time the season ended, what changed between the last week of December and the third week of April right now?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Right. Not with your personality or anything along those lines.
Yeah.
I would think. So
we have Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer, big NFL writer, also had two reports following up on James Palmer's report, indicating that the Eagles again are looking to trade up into the top 10. But according to him, it seemed like they were more interested in doing so for a cornerback, which shocked me a little bit. But it's also, as much as we talk about these reports and it's fun to talk about them, it is misinformation season, right? Leak season, everything like that. And that's what makes it fun to watch, right? That's the fun. That's an excitement. That's the male soap opera we have going on, the news and rumors and everything like that.
Wait, did Elon Musk buy the NFL draft? Is that what you're telling me? No, you're right. It's constant confusion on purpose. And I think right now, looking at it from what we've looked at, really the first round, expecting the Philadelphia Eagles to address certain needs like the defensive line, if it's an edge rusher, or if it's somebody in the middle, or if it's the wide receiver position, it seemed like that was going to be the smaller target of where the Eagles would trade up. Now, trading back's a different story at 18. If you want to get more picks and mass, all that, we'll talk about that in a second. But as far as just trading up, that is a little surprise to see a cornerback in that mix, because I think the majority of us believed, all right, you're probably going to trade up for a defensive lineman, either edge rusher, interior lineman. Maybe if you see a rush on wideouts, you may trade up a couple of slots to get a kid like Jameson Williams. But I don't know, man. Overall, where would they trade up for a cornerback? Like they would probably have to move 6-7 slots.
It seems weird to get up there for a cornerback because a lot of these mocks, and obviously mocks aren't everything, but that's what we have to go off of. People that are connected, people that are talking to teams and things like that. But we've seen guys like Ahmad Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati get mocked as high as the third or fourth pick.
Right.
If they like him, they don't have the ammunition to go up there. And if they want to go up there, I don't want to deal with whatever they're giving up to get that far. To me, the ideal trade-up scenario is, and I wrote a little article about this week, detailing 3 players I would trade up for. Kayvon Thibodeau to pick 7-8 range, whether that's the Giants, they have their second first-round pick is at number 7. They also pick at number 5. You have the Atlanta Falcons picking at number 8. If he's sliding to there, that's a situation in my head. I'm thinking, we're going to part with 15 and maybe the Eagles' first second-round pick 51st overall to move up to 7 or 8. I think I would definitely do that if Thibodeau was on the board still. But then there's, I guess, a smaller jump up, you would say, to pick maybe 11 and 12 if the Eagles really, really want to secure the fact that they get Jordan Davis. I feel like he's a guy that's definitely on the radar. Just seems like an Eagles type of player that Howie Roseman would drool over. Just the way during the Howie Roseman era, he's been here for 11 seasons, I guess. They've used a first-round pick on defensive line, and I'm counting Marcus Smith as a pass rusher in there more than any other position.
That's their go-to.
That's their thing is defensive line. The trenches, but specifically the defensive line
exactly
too.
Right. No, I could see it playing out tonight where they make they trade up to get a guy like Jordan Davis, which is going to be a great fit and all of these things. But we'll find out that they leverage themselves, right? Like they probably could have got him at 15, but maybe they jump Baltimore.
Yeah.
A slot.
I think I could see Baltimore at 14. That's my worry. If you're an Eagles fan that really wants Jordan Davis out there, Baltimore at 14's that fingers crossed waiting for Adam Schefter to tweet it out, or if you have your Twitter off, what you're seeing on TV right there. Sure. I think that's the issue there. And I could see a jump to – they want Jordan Davis. They're going to do a jump. It seems 12 to Minnesota feels like the right mix for me in terms of not too steep of a move up to that 7, 8, 9, 10 range where you're going to be giving up more draft capital to get there. But I feel like 12 is a little bit of a safer move, and I think he'll be there around that.
Yeah, that's what I don't want is them trying to trade up at like 8 or something like that to jump Seattle with the belief, and it would be my misconception, that a team like that, now all of a sudden you've given up too much. Because clearly the move from 15 to 8 or 7, depending on what happens with the quarterback spot, I get that. But depending on that, now you've given up, you mentioned that first, second round pick. You're probably giving up a couple of picks. And the problem now is twofold, because first off, you're giving up too much to get up problem. And again, this is a hypothetical. But I also think, and I don't have necessarily a problem with this, Seamus, I don't know if you do, but I also think Howie now locks himself into a much higher probability of trading back out of 18 to kind of recoup some picks, or knowing that you could get high. Maybe you trade to Detroit 32, 34, something along those lines. So be prepared, because there are probably going to be a couple of guys on the board at 18 that we're going to be like, yo, go ahead. And then Howie's going to probably try and recoup some picks, because that makes sense. Like that move makes more sense than me trading up 15 to 9, or pardon me, 8, something along those lines.
Yeah, I think if you're going to see a trade up, whether it's to 7, 8, or 12, whatever that range might be, I think a trade back from 18 feels really likely. I think, we're not going to be betting on moves. That's not on FanDuel or DraftKings right now. If the Eagles are going to move up, I think the corresponding move for them is to move back from 18. And they're going to be guys available at 18 that are going to work from that. Like Traylon Burks from Arkansas. I think that's a home run pick at 18 if they're going to go with defensive line or cornerback with their first pick, or whether it's at 15, 12, 10, whatever it may be. But I think they might be interested in moving back from 18 to get one of those tier 2, maybe tier 3 wide receivers later on in the draft, whether that's Burks, Olave from Ohio State, or maybe even a guy like Jahan Dotson from Penn State, or Sky Moore from Western Michigan, if they value him that high.
I wonder, looking at it here, it's going to be interesting to see where some of these guys are, especially with, a guy like Olave here. Oh, and look at this. Look at this. Now, this is a crew here, as we have Camden's finest, the twin here. Now, Seamus, we have the mayor, we have Hasson here in the house. So
yeah, I'm hopping up right now.
Unfortunately, he's okay with that, gentlemen. If that's okay, please have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat, please. Haason Reddick's in the house. Mayor Vic is in the house, and we just appreciate you guys spending a couple of minutes with us. It's always nice, especially in y'all stomping grounds here. So we appreciate you allowing us to do this fantastic show. Welcome home, sir.
Yes, sir.
How's everything? First and foremost, appreciate you as always, and thank you not only for what you do for us in the community, but also just spending some time with us here. It's a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. You know that.
Yep. And
talking some good sports.
It's always nice to have somebody who's gone on and done some amazing things come back and not only represent the community, but be here locally now with the community like Hasson.
Man, listen, this man right here, he's the epitome of what this is all about, coming back, having an opportunity to be back home. And it's going to mean so much to the youth in our community, just the city as a whole, to see one of our own. He hit the ground running. He's just planning on wanting to be a part of the growth and doing things and helping in our community. And I'm proud, man. I know his father, his mother, and it's a very organic thing to have him now. We're rooting for him for our team. It's great.
This area never leaves you, right?
No, never. It can't, man. Growing up here, it breeds you. You become a different person. And when you're from this kind of area, you can go anywhere and be successful. So to be back home, to be in my atmosphere, my environment, around the people that I love, my community, it's a blessing. And as Vic said, just to be here and, try to help out and make a difference. It means everything. It's more than just football. It's a chance for me to take where I'm at now and give back to the community.
How much of just your journey in the NFL. Are you able to share with some younger guys now on this team? As you see, there's a good split, right?
Mhm.
Some guys who have been in the league for a little bit, some guys who are fresh in the league. So you've got some stories, you've got some tread on, not a lot, but you've got a little tread on the tires to be able to share.
Man, my whole journey. When I first came into the league, first round, 13th pick, you think everything is going to go smoothly. And that wasn't the case, man. My first 2-3 years, man, my first 3 years were rough. To the point where expectations just wasn't met for reasons that I couldn't control. But once I was able to, gain control of my destiny again, I made the best out of that. It was like a second chance within the NFL. I did some great things, man. Worked hard, grind, put in a lot of hours and a lot of time to get to where I'm at right now. So, like I said, I could share my whole journey because I've had my fair share of ups and downs.
Yeah. Is there something, and it goes back to this area, to this community, to just growing up, is there something that you just rely on, that you have that second chance, as you mentioned, in the NFL, to take advantage of that? Is it just something that growing up here, being in this area, that you can rely on and say, oh, you know what, I've been through something before?
Man, you know, I come from Camden, New Jersey, man, and to make it to the NFL in itself was legendary in the sense that many guys, even talented guys that I grew up with, they didn't get to where I'm at
Right.
now. So I remember when I was having my downs, just thinking to myself like, man, I survived Camden, and not in a bad way, but in a way where I didn't end up like a knucklehead running around doing the wrong things in the streets. I wasn't a victim of anything bad. So if I could make it out of here, if I could, come from Camden, make it to the league, well, why can't I be in the league and overcome, the bad times or the hardships that I'm having right now? And I've always thought about that. Like I said, being from this area, you just bred different.
Yep.
And my mentality was, man, I'm from Camden, New Jersey. If I could make it there, I could make it anywhere. And I use that to the best of my advantage. I always kept that in the back of my mind. And now, here I am. I'm back home in a different circumstance.
Yep,
I'm
it's a
back
blessing.
home and everything is going well. I just hope that God continues to bless me to do what I'm doing and allow me to continue to stay on this stage and use my platform to reach the youth.
He's putting you to work now, right?
Man, listen, we talked about it.
You can't have a better representative of the community than
It's amazing.
Hassan, and with his story is a story of hard work, resilience, getting past obstacles, and that's life. It doesn't have to be football, but his story is about coming from our community, not letting the community dictate who you are.
Mm-hmm.
That understanding that your dream, whatever you're trying to be, it doesn't have to be football. It can be what you're trying to do in your life. His story is a story that our youth, our kids, he represents that. And he speaks that story. He understands that story. Being around him, he understands what he's been through. He's humble enough, from what I've seen, to understand, as he said, our first 3 years, I had to fight through. But coming from a city I came through, I understand going through obstacles, resiliency. And, his journey is a journey that needs to be told, because it's a journey that says, don't stop. And as the mayor always say, keep pushing. Everybody out there, keep pushing.
Right.
The yield signs, stop signs, don't let that stop you. Get around. The sign said, stop signs, yield signs. He was like, I got to figure out how to get through.
Yep.
And he's did it. Now I'm proud, and we're proud as a community to have him back here, because I think he can make so many individuals and kids. I don't know if he realizes it. Sometimes we talk just showing up, because our youth sees that and says, wow, when they can see, touch, feel someone that came from where they came from, it empowers our kids. It empowers youth to feel like, let's go. Haason Reddick told me I can do it.
Yep.
So I'm going to continue pushing, so I'm proud. I'm humbled. I'm humble this young
Yeah.
man right here, man. Is listen, and he's a Temple guy.
Yep.
So you guys don't talk about that. I'm a Temple guy. So we're Owls now.
Right.
That's a whole other story now.
Right, correct. No, I get
Two
it.
Camdenites and two Temple Owls. So it's
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
You can't go far without seeing a
Yeah.
Temple Owl. You know
Hey,
that,
listen.
right?
I remember a time, and I don't want to go too far. His father is a friend of mine I've known,
Yeah.
so a couple years younger than me. His father had an event planning place that someone I knew did an event there, and he took me back in the back room and start showing me video. And I knew Hassan was at Temple. I knew some coaches there, and we were in film study for an hour. His dad was just breaking film down, like, Vic, what do you think? He said, man, my son's starting to turn the corner, this, that, and the fourth. And I'm sitting there saying, he's got some talent. Like,
Yeah.
he was like, look at this. He's rewinding. He said, look at that.
Yeah.
Rewind and look at that. I said, yeah. I said, I think he's got change. This is like you early on, but that's when you in Camden, we're so like you gotta meet his father, his mother. Camden's Camden.
Yep.
It's like we could do anything. There's nothing outside of us but Camden. Let's go.
He knows it. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
that's how I was raised, man. It's like I said, man, if I could be, being from Camden, like I said, man, it just makes you a different person. It breeds you to be hungry, and I always kept who I was. I never changed, and it allowed me to, like I said, be where I'm at. And as Mayor Vic said, man, I want to being here now. It's a beautiful thing because I said it out there earlier. I've always, every year, I've always given back to Camden.
Yep.
Where I play at and where I'm from is the two places that I've always given back to. Thanksgiving, I wasn't able to be here, so I would have my father go stock up a truck full of turkeys and hand them out on the street, or we'll set up a location where people could come get turkeys.
Nice.
Even last year I did a Christmas toy drive. And all out the kindness of my heart, man.
Yeah.
Wanted to make sure that the kids have great holidays. I remember how important that was to me. But now that I'm back home and to be able to represent myself and be at these things now and actually connect with the families that's coming to get these turkeys, to be able to pass them and look them in the eye, and wish them a happy holidays, man. It's going to mean so much more than just being able, thank God I'm able to have my mother and my father who are able to represent me. But now that I'm home and I'm able to represent myself and I'm able to actually be in the community as somebody who's done it, as Mayor Vic said, they can see me face to face,
Right.
Hear my voice, come shake my hand, interact with me. It's going to mean something so much more. It's a greater difference in that. And just being back here and being able to do that, even being away, not even talking about football,
Right.
Just talking about being able to be home and give back to the community as Haason Reddick, a Philadelphia Eagle. Man, that there, man, is something that, I never thought could happen. I never thought would happen, and the fact that it's happening and that, God chose me, it's a blessing.
I'm sure, just as you've referenced, your parents are going to have a big part of this answer, but was there somebody in the community, and it doesn't have to be somebody who made it as far as like you in the world of sports, but just somebody when you were growing up in the community who did that for you and for others to, if they did make it, if they did get out, or if they were just still in the community with the means, to set that example so that maybe there is something in the back of your mind where it's like, okay, now I'm in that spot, I got to continue this.
The closest person I could, remember doing something like that, just because he played football as well, was Rashad Baker. I remember growing up, man, and him having camps, and my father taking me to those, which was crazy because, we got to hear him talk at the end of the camp and stuff and interact with him.
Gotcha.
And, you never know how much that'll do for a kid, just always thinking about him and how he made it out. I always thought, why not me? And then outside of that, man, as you said, just having my parents, the core values that they instilled in me, the man that they together that they help raise, has to do with so much. It has to do with the reason why I'm here today. So
Now they're going to kill me if I don't ask a football question. So, but real quick, can we just brag about the mayor here for a second? Because when you leave to go to the league a couple of years ago to now when you're back, this city has done some amazing transfer, and with your help as well. I don't want to, cut short what you're doing here, but what the mayor has done is fantastic.
Vic has been nothing short than outstanding. I remember when I found out that I was coming back home, that I was going to be with the Philadelphia Eagles. The first thing my dad said was, "Man, we got to get with Vic. I can't make this up." My dad was like, "Man, I know Vic, and he's doing great things for the community. And we can get Vic on board, or we could work together to continue to do amazing things." But man, just being around Vic, this is like the third, fourth time. This is like the third, fourth time since I got the news that I was coming home that I've been around Vic, man. And we talked about some amazing things for the city, and just to see how he's building up the community, listening to some of the things that he has in store for the community. Man, it's just. It's beautiful, and to have a mayor like that, man, we really need somebody, outside of having somebody like me to give back to the community, to have somebody who's actually here every day fighting for the people in the community is important. And Vic has been, like I said, nothing short of outstanding.
Absolutely.
And that was incredible.
Yeah, just like that. It's got to be a message from something, right? Exactly right. Yep, exactly right. All right. So when you arrive here, you talk to coaches, you've talked to some teammates. Now you're getting ready here. This is still technically the off season, although bear with us. We'll get the lights up here. At least we have the audio going. What's your right? Like, what's Haason Reddick's general feel about this team? Now, we just spent 18 minutes with you, all right? So we know the difference of you flipping the switch on for player speak now, about to come out here. But I still got to ask you the question anyway. But just generally, I know you're excited. I know you're excited to be home. This is your team you grew up watching. I know all of that. But just from a football standpoint, how you fit, how you've talked to the coaches, Gannon, and just some teammates about it, like the technical stuff, how are you feeling?
Oh, man, I'm feeling very good about things, man.
Now that's a genuine answer.
No, not genuine answer,
Yes.
because me, I've always rooted for Philly, even while being in the league. Like, especially I haven't been able to make it to the playoffs yet. I remember in 2017, when they were making a Super Bowl run, and then they actually won the Super Bowl. Man, I was happy, because I watched the Eagles growing up.
Yep.
So I was happy, and I knew that the area needed it.
All these guys, yeah, they all needed it.
I knew that the area needed it, and I was living at Philly at the time, and I just remember, I just remember everybody outside going wow, going crazy, celebrating. It was good to see that, but to get back to what you were saying, man, yeah, man, I'm very hopeful for this year. Evidently, Eagles, I think had a great offseason as far as some of the additions that we added. It's draft night.
Yep.
And now we have to see, who else we're bringing in to be a part of this thing, and helping getting this thing. I can't even say back around, because the Eagles we made it to the playoffs last year as well. But to just continue and hope make another Super Bowl run.
Look, I think, and I appreciate both of you by all means, and I'll end on this. Not only for us as a city rooting for you as one of our own here making the playoffs, but it's a nice correlation of our team making the playoffs and you getting in the playoffs. So everybody's got the same goal here.
Right.
Get Haason Reddick into the playoffs. Great. Thank you. Thank you both. Appreciate all that you're doing. Yes. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Haason Reddick, Mayor Vic. And as you see, I mean, it's star-studded here, this event. I mean, my goodness, it's amazing. Now, y'all can chill if you'd like, so, but I know you've got more important things to do.
John's a legendary, yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, man.
That's right. That's right. Oh my goodness, amazing! It's amazing. So we appreciate Mayor Vic. We appreciate Haason Reddick as well. Thank you so much, and we'll get Dick Vermeil and Ron Jaworski down here, and just gentlemen, take a seat whenever you can. I know you want to say hi to everybody, but amazing right there to hear from Haason and to get some insight from him, just coming back to the community and everything along the lines. Yeah, we'll trust me. We have to update as things happen, by all means. So
I think it's going to be Stingley.
And Coach, if we could get Coach just come in a little bit, we could just wheel you a little closer to Jaws. That would be fantastic.
All right, beautiful. Got him on
This
wheels.
is all live here. So, well, I mean, my goodness, this is Hall of Fame, decades of experience to the top level, and not only on the field and coaching, but ambassadors of the NFL. Why am I here? The two of you can just talk, right?
Yeah, we could. We are good, but it's so great to be here. It really
Thank
is.
you both.
It
It's
really
an
is.
honor.
To bring Coach Vermeil over to Camden in this area and see South Jersey. He lives out in the Downingtown area. I see him a lot out there. Coach's family, and have Harold Carmichael here, and obviously Hasson and Paul Gunther. Just good football people, It's good football people, and what a stage with the draft going on right now. And I do think back to 2017 when we brought the draft here to Philadelphia. And I headed up that committee.
Thank you for that.
It was awesome, and I'm still ticked off that we didn't get a second year with it because I thought we earned it. And I guess Jerry Jones's money down in Dallas overrode the great job that we did.
That's a good point.
But with the coach here, I mean, I can't tell you how blessed I am that he's been a part of my life for 49 years. And he's finally getting the recognition of going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And as a guy that football's been in my life, that honor is, I just get goosebumps when I think about it. And our friend Harold Carmichael, who went in last year, I know how hard these guys worked, the effort they put in, and to see that effort rewarded. Hell, I feel like when I was crying more than Harold was at his induction.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was going in. That's the beautiful part about it, because Coach has always been inclusive. Harold's always been inclusive. We've been one family, all of us, and it means so much when our own goes in. And I don't know how many thousand people will be there when Coach Vermeil goes in, but there'll be a lot of representation from Philadelphia.
Find a room to stay. It's not a big city.
That's a good problem, Canton, Ohio.
That's right. That's right. What was that call like, Coach?
Well, Ron knew it was coming. He's a super sleuth, this guy. But I was walking, getting off an airplane in San Francisco when they called. I was about 50 yards off the airplane walking down the jetway, and the phone rang, and it was Dave Baker saying, "Coach, this is Dave Baker from Pro Football Hall of Fame. I'm not calling to buy a case of wine." That's what he said. And he told me what he was doing. And I said, "Oh, I actually stunned me. I was very close to the wall, and I leaned back to put my shoulders against the wall, and I told Carol, he just told me I'm a finalist for the Hall of Fame, and you know what her words out loud, about time."
That's right.
And I've never felt that way. I've never felt it was my turn or I deserve it. I just never got into that kind of thinking. And then when it happens, it startles you.
Who was the first person you called?
Well, I heard from Ron about.
Well, that doesn't count because he already knew.
Yeah,
It was
yeah. I think you were the first person I talked
Coach,
to.
Coach Vermeil deserved to go to the Hall of Fame. That's a given. And there are other people that deserve to go
Sure.
in, and they will. And as hard as everyone worked at coaching, we all understood that it's a process. And Sal Palantonio did a phenomenal job, kind of leading charge. Carl Peterson, there were a bunch of us. It just wasn't this year. It's been the last 4 or 5 years where we'd personally call. And I'm not a letter writer like a lot of guys wrote letters. I like to pick up the phone so people can feel my passion, my emotion when I talk to these guys about why the coach deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And I had a friend of mine, it's probably surprising people, by the name of Drew Pearson, Dallas Cowboy. And again, it's a relationship I formed with him when he was playing with the Cowboys, and we fostered that relationship through time. And he was kind of the consultant for the committee, the Pro Football Hall of Fame selection committee. And so I kind of bugged him a lot. Here's what you need to do, blah, blah, blah. We're all pushing the coach. And So I knew the meeting was that Tuesday, and I chain of emails and text messages through the years, and phone rings, and I didn't pick it up. Immediately I got to it, and I didn't get it in time. But all of a sudden, a black thumb popped up, and obviously he's African American, and
Right.
it was like a black thumb popped up on my phone,
Yeah.
and he was in the meeting when they voted.
That's amazing.
So
That's amazing.
So probably by the time I got myself together, probably 10 minutes, and I called the coach, and he was in the airport, in San Francisco.
I hadn't moved. I
Yeah.
haven't moved.
Yeah.
I hadn't moved the first down even from where I got the call.
And I was balling. I could tell his emotion. He was balling too. But I mean, I can't even imagine. It's so incredible and so deserving.
Yeah, amazing. And I know, as Jaws has mentioned, the entire city, as many people can physically jam in there, Camden are going to be there. Absolutely.
We'll wait and see.
Uh,
But anyway,
You've got some other fan bases too that I'm sure will be pretty happy to see.
Yeah,
that.
he's got St. Louis and the Rams in his first year in LA. And when I was a rookie, he was my mentor. He went back to 1973. That's why we have developed this relationship for 49 years. He just wasn't my coach in Philly. He was the running backs coach in the Rams in 1973 when I was drafted by the Rams. So we go way, way back.
Now, who's the better golfer?
Oh, Ron is. I gave up golf. I really did. I don't like.
I say that every week,
like
Coach.
doing something I don't do well,
Yes.
and I'm not disciplined enough to give the time to becoming a better golfer. Because I know I could.
Right.
I did it for a while. I got down. I was shooting in the low 90s.
Not
But
bad.
I would get to the first tee and tee off, and I'd say, "Oh, more, God, 17 more of these," because I could think of something else I'd rather be doing.
You go through
And that's not
years.
the way to become a golfer.
No. It's amazing. Years of grueling NFL off seasons, getting ready for the draft and free agency, and then going through the season of coach. And then, golf, it's a completely different animal. So hats off to Jaws and all those who can play it.
It takes a specific type of discipline to really to challenge the game.
Yeah.
And to challenge it, really get involved. And I often thought I would, especially when I left the Eagles originally. And I couldn't make myself do it. I couldn't.
It takes time. It's like anything else. If you want to be a quarterback or a head coach, you got to commit yourself to that. And I just love to play the game. And one of the reasons why is during the NFL season, we would get Tuesdays off.
Yeah.
And, when you're in the season and even the off season, back then we actually practiced in the off season. Now they don't even practice anymore.
They actually practice during the season. Now they point at each other.
Yeah. Ballroom walkthroughs, I got him, you got him. Okay, we're done. Yeah. But Tuesday was like my day off. So I went golf, and it was like I'm out in 200 acres and no fans, no coaches, no one screaming at me. My wife not around. Is like, I'm gonna smash this little white ball. Take all my frustration, my anger, and play golf. And it was a day that kind of kept my mind and steady. At least it wasn't always football. Every 24 hours, every single day. I had that one day to myself, and that's where golf really kind of calmed me down a little bit.
But you have to be good, right? You're not stress-free.
I was an athlete. I was an athlete.
Pretty damn good, Jaws, right?
Quarterbacks tend to be able to play golf well.
Is that right?
Yeah. And if they want to play it real well, they just practice it more. But they're the kind of athletes that play the game well.
I thought it was kickers with all the time that they had to just, as far as swing clubs.
There were a few
There were,
kickers
yeah.
that really
Right.
were good.
Yeah.
No question.
Vinny Del Negro, remember the kicker? No, Vinny. The guy was with the
Oh yeah, not
Titans.
Del Negro.
Not Del Negro.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, as a kicker, really good player. Guys playing that Lake Tahoe tournament every year.
Yeah,
He was a really, really good player. A kicker.
He wasn't the guy who he wasn't who hurt his neck
No.
celebrating, right?
Smith.
No, wasn't that was a Tampa Bay guy, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah.
Chromatica. That was
Chromatica. Okay, yes,
No,
all
wasn't
right.
him.
Yeah.
Wasn't
All
him.
right, no, it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Wasn't him. Well, okay, we are keeping up with everything going on tonight and trying to, as we inch closer.
Give me an update so I can see how I'm doing.
Yeah. so far we only have a couple of picks right now, right?
Houston did not pick yet?
Yeah, Houston took Stingley, the quarterback.
What I tell you.
Corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Giants are on the clock right now.
Now, I've got a real lineage to Stingley, by the way.
Is that right?
In the Senior Bowl game, 1973, Darryl Stingley, you may remember, was the Patriot who got his neck broken.
Yeah.
And, so we played together in the Senior Bowl game. His son, Derek Stingley, actually was an assistant coach to Philadelphia Soul when I had the Arena League team, and coached. I was my partner with the Arena League team. So Derek Jr. used to come to our practices.
Wow.
So now, the
Now
lineage,
he's
now his
first round
grandfather, third
Now
player.
we can buy your team.
Yeah, get my money back, coach. You'll be all right.
Mine too.
But it's funny how it works.
Yeah,
Daryl,
amazing. That chain,
his
The
grandfather,
evolution. Yeah.
and
Amazing.
I had Stingley as my number one guy when I was done. And for one simple reason, there was some video out there, I don't know if you guys may have seen it, where he was covering Jamar Chase, and they were both at LSU.
Yeah.
He was a freshman coach.
Yeah.
And it wasn't game tape. It was on the coaches had a camera on, and they were just in practice. And Jamar Chase obviously is one of the proven receivers of the National Football League. He was in his hip pocket on probably 20 routes. They're all on tape.
Yeah.
I mean, stutter goes, double moves, double breaks, in and out.
Wow.
Couldn't beat him.
Wow.
Couldn't shake him. I'm saying,
Apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
exactly, yeah. But man, he was covered. I said, oh no, you look at all the tape you want. His tape was great, but when I saw that one-on-one, no safety help, no linebacker, you got him, man. That's as Herm would say, that man-to-man coverage. Your man. You got him.
Yeah.
So is there anybody that you were looking at that jumped out that you thought realistically was in that? We've got a couple of edge rushers, we've got Jordan Davis, we've got a couple of wideouts, right? So I don't know if there was somebody that maybe is closest to you as far as what you looked at on film, or just a feel that you think would fit best for this team.
The guy that I liked was Blake London,
Okay.
out of USC.
Big
Wide receiver and big, strong guy coaching. Reminded me of Brandon Marshall. Remember Brandon?
Yeah.
And he was one of those big, strong guys, a body player, athletic, played basketball. And when you look at him on tape, and it's all a projection. Maybe one offense is different. I keep thinking, here in Philly, we keep putting these damn small guys in the slot. Greg Ward. Give me as a quarterback. I had Harold Carmichael. Harold.
Put him in a slot.
Give me that guy. Give me that guy. Put a linebacker on him. Put some little small corner on him. And that's what you get when you get the big, tall receiver. Sometimes, the little guys are good and fast. There's certain things they can't do. That's why I like London. He was one of those guys who can play in the slot, could play outside, and his physical stature was there. Yeah.
Big body guy, best friend for a quarterback, right?
Oh, yeah. I see Harold. I thank him every time I see him. I threw a lot of shitty balls that were caught by him.
That's great. Fantastic. And I'm just curious too, Coach, just, looking at recent drafts and kind of just back when you were still coaching in the league as well, is not way back, but more recent. Is there a draft or two that maybe sticks with you as far as, towards the end of your coaching career?
Not really. I follow the Eagles more, when you get out living out in the country like that. And, the last 2 years I've started watching more college football.
Yeah.
Because I have less to do at my age. So I watch more Saturday football. And the game in college is producing kids more conducive to playing early in the NFL at the skilled receiver positions. It's amazing the catches you see these kids make. In the old days, the receivers wouldn't even attempt to make them.
Right.
They assume it's not a catchable ball, but now they catch the uncatchable ball consistently, and they're not getting paid a lot of money to do it.
Yeah.
So that's impressive. I think even here we could say you got to be very careful drafting wide receiver in first round.
I know.
It's so easy.
Yep.
Yeah. Because first off, they can all catch, but how many can make a difference with the catch? Really?
Yep.
They can all catch. You could go to Penn State and take the start like they can all catch the ball.
Yep.
But who can make a difference when he catches it? Who can make a difference when he's covered and catches it? Who can make a difference and create distance? All these different things. But in college football, they all catch the football because the defense is good.
Right.
And they gradually get down. But Sid Gilman used to say, he said, you never draft a wide receiver in the first round unless he's an obvious Hall of Fame player. And if you have to study him for a long time to determine it, he isn't. That's what he said. He said that. You don't draft an offensive lineman in the first round because you can develop him unless he's a Hall of Famer. That was his philosophy. But then you could coach kids longer.
Right.
You could keep them out on the practice field. You could work for 3 hours, double days. You could go double days all the time with pads on. So you could better develop the kid that was a little minus. As I watch films and I listen to analysts talk, a high percentage of the plays that break down game day first down, second down, third down. Breaks down fundamentally somewhere within the front before the quarterback even throws the ball. It's where it breaks down early, fundamentally, not in design,
Right.
But the fundamentals of the player are not good enough to help the quarterback feel good, or the quarterback's fundamentals are poor. Yeah.
So, and the coach mentioned the offseason.
Yeah.
And there is no doubt in my mind, if I didn't have Coach Vermeil, Hall of Famer Sid Gilman, in the offseason. I mean, Gordon Ford was the writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer at the time. And he calculated that we threw in the offseason about 36,000 passes. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for probably 3 months. We'd be out at Veteran Stadium.
There were times when we didn't have a receiver, and I would go stand at the breaking point, and he would throw the ball to me.
Yeah.
I'm the coach.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
And we just worked on timing that 5-step drop, 2.1 seconds. The receiver's got to be there. Boom. You go to that 7-step drop, 3.1 seconds, ball out, 3-step drop, 1.5 seconds, and then 1.45.
Yeah,
it was 1.5.
Yeah.
Or I get my ass chewed out.
Yeah.
That's how and that receiver had breaking point had to be timed
we
up.
had the little clock. And the buzzer would go off.
If it was after 1.5 or
on a 3-step drop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you said it would depend on the drop. Yeah.
Quarterback develop a rhythm.
Yeah.
Got it.
But we did that in the off season. Now, we're come to Los Angeles. There's 3 of us working out. You know how they're working out. They're probably playing golf in the morning, working out for a half hour in the afternoon, and going out to some club in the evening. We used to actually practice in the off season.
Right.
When I took over the St. Louis Rams job, honest to God truth, the OTAs, organized team activities, are not mandatory, right?
Mm-hmm.
You come if you want. My first week, by the end of the week, I could not go 7-on-7 because guys just didn't even show up.
Oh my goodness.
I'm serious. We couldn't go 11-on-11. We had more than 11 players, but they weren't in the right position. I could line up 11 guys, but there'd be 4 tackles at linebacker. It was so discouraging. The structure of the defense and the meaning of football to that football team had disintegrated.
Yeah.
They could care less. It's not mandatory. I'm not coming.
No, and there's nothing you can do.
When one year, the next year, we'd have 2 9-on-7s at the same time. Because they were all there.
The collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that worked out really well.
Just blame it on that. That's
That's
the
it.
easiest thing, right?
Talk to the NFL Player Association.
Absolutely.
And they have done a good job. I'm not, but they have done a good job for the players. But they're hurting the players because they're not practicing. You can't get better if you don't practice. It's that simple. Coach says it all the time.
Let me give you a stat.
Yeah.
I'm proud of this. Stan Wallers, 7 years, starting left tackle. Guy Morris, 7 years, starting offensive center. Jerry Sizemore, starting right guard, right tackle for 7 years. You know how many games they missed? 3 combined.
Amazing.
3 offensive, and we practiced. I mean, they had almost game time practices on Wednesday and Thursday. Seriously, and they missed 3 games total.
And by the way, those are my best years.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they're gone, and they got, we drafted Kevin Allen the first round, who couldn't block anybody. And opening day gets Lawrence Taylor, so it was a long day for me. But hey, if you don't have those guys up front, and we all know that coach always says, starts at left tackle, quarterback, running back. That's how you build your football team.
That's amazing.
Big people help you look pretty good.
Yeah. And as small and as quick and as lean as guys get, you still see big guys in the middle.
Well, the big guys give the little guys time, opportunities to play. And time to play.
That's right. No, that's fantastic. How is the wine business going?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the first year I can say that.
Is that right?
Last year it started coming on, and now we're in the black for the first time in 13 years.
That's amazing. Congrats.
We have I think 132 club members now in Philadelphia.
Wow.
We have 340 I think right now, and growing. It just gradually it took. First off, our wines are not inexpensive. They're moderately high.
Right.
They're not in the upper echelon price wise, but people are buying them because they're quality wines, and we don't make a lot. With this year, I think we're going to bottle just a little under 1,800 cases, which is tiny.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's turning a profit on that number is pretty impressive.
Well, this number, we're turning the profit on like 2,400 cases.
Right.
A few years back. See, we lost all our 2020 reds.
Okay.
Smoke damage, the forest fires up there.
Oh,
we have no red wine for the year 2020.
unbelievable. But back in effect now for the Reds.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're being very disciplined with what we do with our 18s and 19s.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can get through our wine club commitments.
Right. Okay. Just curious. I mean, who doesn't?
You
love a
learn
good-
something every day the coaches are
single
around.
day.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot from you two across the board here. Life, the NFL, wine, absolutely here. What comes first, an Eagles Super Bowl or another draft here? You would know this answer.
Eagles Super Bowl. Draft's not coming back here.
Oh.
No, I'm still upset about we didn't get year 2. You know, we deserved year 2.
Yeah.
You know, Chicago did a good job in the first couple of years, and you guys know I headed up the committee to get the draft here. Roger Goodell and I met in his office, and I really pushed him hard. Just him and I for 2 hours in his office. I thought, you know, we all knew the Philadelphia passion, the fans, and all that, and he was all on board with that. But we needed a hook, and it was really the arts. And you know, I'm not an artsy guy, but I'm aware of the Parkway and the history and tradition and the art museum and all that.
Has a little statue.
There's there's a lot of stuff that go there. I said, hey, it's, we got football. You know, we know the Philly fans, it'll be great then. But the hook was the arts, and they wanted to look at another segment of an audience they could attract.
Yeah.
So he bought into me. He bought into that part of it, and we had 250,000 people.
It's amazing.
I mean, we blew everyone else away, and we were supposed to have the option for the second year, and all of a sudden Jerry Jones stepped in, and I guess his checkbook beat out our checkbook. Yeah, it was unlimited. Yeah. And we didn't get it the second year, but I was so proud of that day. It was, I walked down that stage and saw all those people, and it was just wow,
Unbelievable.
and it was a great crowd. This city gets maligned so many ways.
Absolutely.
There were no rests. There was no
Nothing.
people had a good time. You could take your family. You sit there, watch a draft. The NFL does a phenomenal job, and it was a perfect marriage, a draft in Philadelphia.
No, it's amazing to see that, and it's memorable. I honestly, I know that, and I'm preaching to the choir, to everybody here, but you grow up in this area before 2017, being told the only thing that matters outside of your immediate family is this football team winning a Super Bowl. Like that's it. Like that's life now. And we had that, but I think anybody who experienced both, it's separate. Like winning the Super Bowl is always going to, but the draft from an experience and from just memorable moments of being and seeing our city highlighted to that level, it's up there with winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It really is.
Because there was a feeling that we would fail. I was close to everything going on. I lived it.
Yeah.
And then when I walked out on that city, like I said, and saw that massive crowd, I went, oh my God. And everyone behaved, and it was awesome.
It was on top of the building with Spag, and this officer, he knew the.
Oh, no, you were at the hotel right down. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. I know you've got to get on.
We're going to watch the draft.
Well, absolutely.
ball,
You've
like
got to
you-
host a party, Charles. I mean, my goodness.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you
guys.
both.
Keep up the
And
great work.
Congratulations, Coach. Really. Thank you to
That
both
is
of you.
special. Hall
Yes,
of Fame.
yes,
Hall
amazing.
of Fame, Coach.
What a story that is, too, with Pearson. Said in the text. It's awesome. Thank you both. Appreciate that. Great Ron Jaworski, Hall of Famer, Dick Vermeil in there as well. And it's just, what a night here. Unbelievable. I've got the Haason Reddick, Mayor Vic in the house here. I mean, my goodness, this has been just outstanding. All right, you guys want to come back in here, or what are we doing? Because mainly, we also want to keep people up to date with what's happening in the draft. So Sauce Gardner goes 4th. I have Thibodeau going 5th to the Giants, right? And currently, the
Sixers up
Panthers.
20. That's
Sixers up 20. Okay.
so Kayvon Thibodeau went to the Giants.
I
with
see
fifth
that.
pick. I think that's a wise pick on their part for
Yep,
sure.
that makes sense, right?
Yeah, steal.
We knew
Yeah,
that
they're
the
two
Eagles would have to
reaches.
trade
Yeah.
up, right?
Yeah, that would have been. Well, I was thinking when we were talking earlier about a potential Eagles trade up specifically for him. I was thinking the 7th pick right there, thinking the Giants right there. But at the same time, if I was the Giants, I would have just taken him at 5 like they did anyway.
Yep.
So it makes sense the way it did play out, though.
So right now, and I haven't been paying attention. I don't know if you guys have been monitoring any social or anything. Has there been any?
I was sucked into the Jaws stories.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, man. He is.
Yeah, I'm sitting in Dick Vermeil's seat. I don't even know what to.
You're taking that chair home.
So
Probably.
I have to just say this about Jaws because I've had the chance to talk with him multiple times, multiple outlets. We did this last year where Jaws was at his club. I don't think I've ever heard the same story twice. Like, and it doesn't matter if it's a former player or somebody who's got stories. Like every now and again, it's like, oh man, come on, like, or your uncle, right? Like it could be anybody who comes out and be like, hey, Jaws has stories for years, man. It's amazing. Like I don't think I've heard the same shit twice in that regard. Now he dropped one, so I'm going to drop one too.
You said the Sixers are going to win. I thought you're saying it was the 4th quarter. They're up 19 in the third quarter. That's
Oh, wait a second.
it's nothing.
19 in the third.
That's nothing.
That's nothing.
What are you
That's-
talking about? I assumed you meant they were up 20 with like 4 minutes left.
They're gonna blow. What are there? Half the third quarter's left. They're gonna blow
2 minutes.
Okay, 14 minutes to blow 19 points. What odds you
Have
give
you
me?
watched the team the last 2 years?
Yeah, I'm with Seamus
I'm
here.
not saying like I'm not rooting for them to lose or anything.
No,
like that,
by
but-
no means.
Yeah.
Now, we also, so Giants are currently on the clock right now. We have the Falcons up next.
Who went 6?
No, Panthers. I'm sorry, right?
Still
Panthers.
waiting on the Panthers pick at 6, and the Giants will pick again at 7. And
Right.
Atlanta at
They didn't go Iquanu there?
They did. Sorry, I didn't. I'm just saying that now.
Nope, so did I. That's why I make sure that I didn't miss that. Okay, so
That's
the
odd.
Giants back on the clock. Yeah, Panthers clearly have no interest in either quarterback. I don't know if that's just because of Sam Darnold.
I mean,
because,
Aquano, people are talking about him going number 1. I think that's a solid pick.
yeah, that's a great
They're
pick.
talking about Cross going to Carolina there. So I think if they're able to land the presumed best tackle in the draft, I know Evan Neal from
Neal
Alabama
was the other guy,
is awesome too. But I think that's a really solid pickup for them.
Yeah, I think Neal caught a lot of steam before the Jags really addressed their line, right?
Yes,
Where there was this
yes.
belief that Doug Peterson with Trevor Lawrence would take a guy, and then Neal got all this steam because he was a good fit there. But yeah, then they start to address it. They bring a guy in, they re-sign a guy. So it made more sense here. But point being is that nobody that we have talked about. Now, again, we've got a couple of picks here, so somebody could mess this thing up, but it's not like there was any real shock. And again, it's only 6 picks, pardon me. But it's not like there was any crazy. It's not like Jamison Williams is off the board at 6 or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
Or Jordan Davis is probably a better one that's off at 6.
When the Giants took Farrell from Clemson, or the Raiders did a couple years back, like that was the shocking pick where he went for.
Right.
Like that pick hasn't happened this year.
No, not yet. Not
Or
yet.
the Giants, I should say, took Daniel Jones that year and shocked everyone doing that.
Yeah, who is not coming back, I guess.
For 5th. Yeah, they're saying
Right,
they're
for the
not
5th
taking
year.
the 5th year option.
Smart.
Maybe they're drafting the quarterback right now.
I'll tell you this: what I know about Howie Roseman is every time a non-pass rusher comes off the board, he's pleased.
Yes.
He wants somebody to drop to him. What you can include Davis in that group, but I mean, if he sees corners going off the
Or
board,
Jermaine Johnson from FSU, I think is a guy that he would definitely like as an edge rusher there. A little bit older. I do wonder, he was a transfer from Georgia to Florida State, and he excelled really a lot at Florida State in 2021. But then I'm thinking at the same time, that was an unbelievable Georgia defense. We saw a lot of studs there.
Yeah.
Why wasn't he playing over them? It's a question that's worth asking. I think he's going to be a good pro.
Right.
And if the Eagles take him at 15, I don't think that's a bad pick in the slightest. But that's my one concern with him.
I like that line of thinking. I think in certain cases, like college basketball, it's a little tougher because somebody could be used as like a 6th man. But no, I think that line of thinking is, especially on a team that has beasts in front of a guy, and it's like, all right, man, what was the negative or what was the drawback as far as you not playing over those guys? So no, I think that line of thinking actually makes a lot of sense in college coming out of the
You
NFL.
see it like Joe Burrow was a transfer to LSU, so it's not the be all end all for a player if they're a transfer and getting playing time for someone else. You can't totally question that.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I mean it's a reasonable it's a reasonable, not concern seems too negative, just a question regarding him as a prospect.
What do you think the odds are right now that the Giants do go Willis? It'd probably be Willis over Pickett, right? I feel like Willis is the higher grade right now. Maybe that's smoke.
I feel like he goes first, but I don't know what first means. Is that 7?
I thought first was like 20.
Is that 7? Is that
what I
is that
think.
18 to New
Yes,
Orleans? Is
yes.
that 20 to Pittsburgh?
That's what I thought. New Orleans or Pittsburgh, one of those teams to be
Yeah.
the first team. But again, this would be like a crazy move where you're overdrafting a guy that you don't need at 5. But this is it for the Giants until what, the 2nd round, right?
Yeah, because this is the pick they got from the Bears in the Justin
Right,
Fields trade
right.
last year.
So that's that. Look, it's not going to happen, but that would probably be up there with one of the larger surprises, I think, mainly because of the prospect that they pick, right? Like if the Giants were 15th right now and they took Willis or even Pickett, it's not that big of a shock. They just let go or they didn't pick up the 5th year option. But if they took either one of these guys at 6 or 7, right? That would be a pretty big
said,
surprise. Oh, they got it.
got a tweet about it. I don't know if we're gonna.
Yeah, go ahead. Who cares?
Evan Neal looked like it from Alabama.
Look at that.
That's a really.
That's a great pick for
obviously,
them.
the Eagles fans don't want the Giants.
No,
but
but
I think that's a very,
yeah.
very good draft call for them if that's their 5th and 7th pick.
Thibodeau and Neal?
Yeah.
That's
Those are
not
two guys
bad.
that
two guys who arguably could have went number one.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right.
I think that's very solid.
You're right. Wow, I'm surprised that they did that. Now it's not
New
Gettleman, right?
management. Maybe they know what they're
I was
doing
gonna
now.
say Gettleman's gone, right?
I mean, yeah, they might make good decisions finally.
All right, so let's look at this realistically right now. We're at 8, awaiting what's going on with the Falcons.
The heck
And
was the lights?
I don't know. Is it like
It's in the weight room. Somebody's got to walk.
Oh, okay.
It's a
So
motion sensor.
Under the lights.
yeah, we might be SOL then, right? That's
You
all
can
right.
call it, or I can
We're-
go scamper through the.
We're
weight room.
running out of time anyway. We're at 55.
Yeah.
So depending on how much longer this gets. But actually, do you think anybody right now with 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, so you've got what, 7 picks here. We talked about Baltimore. I don't know if there's another team. The Jets could screw something up, maybe take a defensive
I
rush.
see the Jets at 10 going receiver.
Me
I
too.
think that's
Me
a
too.
receiver pick for them.
That's what I thought
I think-
too.
Not to get too ahead of ourselves, but right now the board's falling relatively well for the Birds.
I would think
all,
so.
all the wideouts are there.
All
Yeah.
the wideouts are there. All the pass rushers other than Thibodeau, who obviously didn't necessarily think he didn't think he was going to be at 15, but
Sure.
maybe a
So-
small trade up.
All right, we're running out of time, and this will be moot in a second. But does this make it more likely they trade up because these guys are lingering?
Well, that's kind of what we talked about earlier. Do they want to not out leverage themselves in making a move
Or-
up when they don't
Right.
necessarily
They
need
want to stay at 15. The more people they don't care about get picked,
Yeah.
the more likely they're just going to chill and use their pick.
Yeah, we
Here's
just
the
don't
thing.
know their board.
Let's assume, okay, real quick before this all goes off, let's assume that Davis, Wyatt, if you want to put another end, if you want to put an end in there, the conversation, that's fine. So Davis, Wyatt, an end, and basically the top 2 or 3 wide receivers that we've talked about are all there at 15. And you're each Howie
Well-
Roseman.
Well, they picked 19, so in theory they'd be able to get.
No, the assumption is that my working assumption is that they're going to trade out of that pick.
Yeah, I think you go.
But you're right. Okay.
I would go
I mean,
defensive
if the
line
board
there.
is that good, they would have to consider taking 2 guys. That would make the fans here pretty happy.
Yeah, I think you go wide out.
When's the
second
last
pick.
time they draft based on what you, Seamus, me, or Mayor Vic wants?
Last year. Last year.
Okay,
Last
okay.
year.
Last
1
year
year.
was a
Yeah,
good year.
yes.
They did it 1 year. They
You're
did it
right.
1 year.
And
I stand corrected.
As a sports editor in this market, the Jalen Hurts pick was good for a few 100,000 page views. So
Okay.
that's good.
Wasn't
for
the
me.
most happy pick for
No.
fans, but
No.
definitely the most WTF moment I've had it as following the team, as whether it's a fan or a media member.
So you want Kenny Pickett at 19? And will that make you happy?
that's that for the ad people? That's really good.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett is a good pick for the ad team. Sales team.
That's who the CEO and publisher of Philly Voice wants.
Right. No, trust me, every media outlet in the city wants that.
Right.
Absolutely. There's a reason why the 10 o'clock news isn't leading with puppies. So we want chaos by all means. All right. With that said, but assume that you're going to use both picks. That's fine. So you
Yeah.
do have that second pick. Who are you going first? And again, it's not back to back.
Yeah.
So somebody could scoop you. Somebody could just swoop in and take that second player that you're thinking of. But just at 15, assuming everybody's available, is there a preference?
I'm a Jordan Davis guy.
Yeah, I go D line.
Yeah.
Pass rusher.
And
or
whether it
Davis.
could be Johnson from FSU, that could be the guy that target there. And I'd understand going for more of the edge guy. You think he's going to have a better sack total, be a more disruptive pass rusher at the next level than Jordan Davis might be. I'd understand that rationale, especially because there is a lot of talent still at the defensive line, defensive tackle with Fletch back for another year. Hargrave had a really nice start the last year. I think Milton Williams is going to be a really, really good pro there. But Davis is just, you don't pass on talent just because you have Milton Williams, who, I was all about gangbusters for him last year. But at the same time, that could be in 3 years, that could be the best defensive tackle pairing in the league.
And Fletcher Cox is old. Brandon Graham is
Oh,
old.
he's out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Brandon Graham is one of the biggest legends in the history of the city, but is also 33 coming off an Achilles tear. That's terrible for him. And that injury going down last year really hurt the team. And I felt so much for him. But at the same time, from a roster building construction, they're going to want to get more young edge talent in there.
No, this team is defined by defensive line.
Yes.
It's almost an imperative that they add to the line.
Yeah.
Do you think that, is Lloyd going to be available in the second round for them?
I think Nakobe Dean is going to be available in the second round. I think they're going to be good linebacker talent in the second round. And
They have a decent crew. And I know we talked to Hassan tonight.
We
No.
always talk about the linebackers are talented here.
Right.
And I think that you can't have guys just off the street. But last year they had quality
Yeah.
play.
And I think they got better if you look at bringing
I
in
think-
Hasson.
Especially relative to the draft capital or lack of they're investing. TJ
Yeah.
Edwards is an undrafted pick.
Yep.
Sean Bradley, Temple guy too, 6th round pick. They outperformed where they've gotten, and they've been quality NFL players.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. All right, gentlemen, we got to get out of here. You guys have to go drink and eat and watch the draft and be merry, right?
We have to.
Sixers over?
Gotta do some fourth quarters. I got to do Sixers stuff. We got to do everything. That's
Okay.
Philly voice for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know,
You guys go to sleep or drink. We'll work so that you have stuff to read.
go
in
to
the morning.
sleep or drink. I am like you and your wife, where there is a child at
Don't
home.
do it in that order.
That's
Well-
true. I have a babysitter. Yeah, that's right. Actually, Sixers wrap it up. Eagles don't trade up. I got stuff to do. I'm a dad
We'll be
now.
fine. We'll be fine. Look, we appreciate everybody hanging with us. Thanks again. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the Philly Voice YouTube page. Thanks to Jaws. Thanks to Coach Vermeil. Thanks to Mayor Vic. Thanks to Haason Reddick. Thanks to Hal. Thanks to Lexi. Thanks to everybody at Philly Voice. And thanks to Jaws for allowing us to be here as well. Thanks to Seamus. Thanks to Evan. And thanks to you out there. We'll see you soon. Again, thumbs up, subscribe. Have a great night. Go Birds. Good night. Amazing.